Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is top real estate broker owner Matilda Sorensen of Dale Sorensen Real Estate Incorporated based out of Vero Beach, Florida. Since 1978, Matilda has sold $1 billion plus in real estate exclusively in Vero Beach, elevating her to an elite class of real estate professionals. With CRS and CRB designations, she provides the latest on-market trends, offering her clients a distinct advantage in making well-informed decisions. Her knowledge and expertise has allowed her to develop an intuitive understanding of the needs, goals, and lifestyles of her clientele, providing them with an inside track, often presenting real estate opportunities before they become public, and her client-centered approach makes working with her a pleasure. She achieved a Real Trends Wall Street Journal ranking of 128th nationally for sales in 2015. Specializing in luxury, oceanfront, waterfront, intercoastal, and Gulf communities, she has sold the 3 most expensive homes in Vero Beach, all on the ocean. All right, with all that said, Matilda, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Keith, for having me.
Now, Matilda, if we could start for our listeners, what led you into real estate? Was it something you knew you always wanted to do, or did you maybe stumble into it?
Kind of a combination. My family has always been in the real estate business in the Dominican Republic, where I'm from. So I sort of grew up with a background on real estate. But my husband worked for Gulf and Western years ago, and they were leaving Vero Beach, and we didn't want to leave the area. So he opened a real estate office, and I kind of stumbled into it, really. I got my license and started, and all of a sudden I'm doing it 24/7.
Excellent. And can you talk a little bit about what personal attributes or traits or qualities that you think have most contributed to the success that you've had?
I think most importantly, I work really, really hard. I am available to my clients 24/7. I answer my phone all the time, and I'm very knowledgeable about the market. I mean, I think that that's a large attribute to what makes me successful, I think.
All right, excellent. And do you think you could give our listeners an example of when your traits have played a role in your path towards success?
Yes, I can. One time I had a doctor who called me around 7 o'clock to go meet him at his home to sell the property. And so I went over, I met him, and I had a client in mind, actually, once I walked into the house. And I spent until about 3 o'clock in the morning rearranging all the furniture, getting it staged so it would show well. And I showed it at 11 o'clock the next morning and sold it.
Wow, that's a heck of a you get a call.
I mean, I had a painter come in and paint, which was my nephew, and he came and painted the house at night. And at 11 o'clock, we sold it. So it was like kind of neat.
Now that's service right there. You get a call at 7. You rearrange. You get the house painted. You show it the next day, and you close it. I mean, you didn't even spend 24 hours on the deal, and you got it done.
I did. It was lucky, but I did. It was, I think, the extra things that we did. You know, sometimes you need to do a couple of things like that to make it happen.
Wow, that's a great example. I think obviously in the amount of time you've been in real estate, I imagine not everything's been smooth. You've probably obviously weathered some significant markets, the ups and downs. Can you talk a little bit about some of the adversities or trials that you had to overcome in order to have the success that you've had?
Oh, I think it's always a challenge. I mean, I never take a job that I don't want to do just like 100%. So, and it's never easy. I mean, you have to give up a lot of things sometimes. I mean, I've given up vacations when in the beginning of my career, my family would go on vacation, and I would say, I have to meet you a few days later because I had a client coming in. So you sacrifice some things, to work and become success. But I think in the end, it all balances out.
Excellent. And what kept you going? Obviously you ran into these obstacles, you had these issues, why didn't you give up? What's your driving force?
I think my driving force is I love what I'm doing. I love people. I like houses. And I think that's what really motivates me. It really does. I mean, I think I'm in my career right now. we're extremely successful, but I still, I had somebody call me the other day and wanted to buy a house for $130,000, and I just did the same service that I do for a $9 million house that I closed yesterday. So for me, it's the same. I love taking care of people, regardless of what they want. I mean, it's not the money that motivates me; it's really the people and what their needs are.
Excellent. And I guess kind of looking forward, I mean, what do you see your vision as, say over the next 3 to 5 years?
Probably continue to work as hard as I am. Our children have joined our firm, and I just feel like I'm almost need to work harder to help them, even though I should be, and so that's what I do. I mean, I think we're going to continue. We have opened a couple of new offices under my son's tutelage in the way that he wants to do, and so just helping and working as long as I can.
Excellent.
As long as I can do a good job for my customers, mainly. And love what I'm doing. If not, then I wouldn't do it.
Absolutely. And I guess, what do you feel the best way that obviously you've established yourself, so I imagine you get a lot of, just word of mouth and referral, but what's the best way you market yourself as a real estate professional so you can have continual growth?
I think a few things. I think the majority of my personal is really referrals from doing it for 35 years. I think getting very involved in the community of Vero Beach, philanthropically, I think that helps us a lot to give back to the community because they give back to us. And I think that's probably what we do best.
I think from a perception standpoint, when people look at real estate agents, sometimes there's a lot of misconceptions. They look at them in a certain way. They assume that they just come and, they just put the house in the MLS and, they don't do anything else. Or I guess in your case, you just show up at 7 o'clock and sell the house and the next day quickly. But I think
it's not always that, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine it would always be that easy. But what do you think the biggest misconception that people have about working with a real estate agent is?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. I mean, part of it. I mean, one of them, people think that, for example, they can do it, but some people think that they don't need a real estate company at all or a real estate agent. And a lot of people think that we only work for the commission that we make. But I think if you want to be good in the future, and have repeated business, you do a good job by being knowledgeable and being able to let people understand the market so they can make an intelligent decision on their own. Not for me. I don't like to sell people. I like them to understand what the market is, in the perimeters of what they're looking for, give them choices, and then they make their own choice, because they understand it.
I agree. I think it's best to, with any situation, present the, here's the facts.
Facts, of course.
Yeah, and that way you're not pushing them in a direction. You're like, here's what they are, and they made the the choice which was best for them.
Absolutely, and I always feel that if you take that attitude, I mean, it's like I always tell my clients, I know you're going to buy, and I don't need to sell you today or tomorrow. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to understand what's happening, and sometimes it's taking me 2 years to sell somebody a house, for sure. But they're always happy at the end because they choose what they want, and they're very appreciative that you are in contact with them and sending them all the updates of what's happening, and then they choose their own.
So let's say you get a call from a family member or a friend. They live in another state where you're not licensed, and they want to sell their home. So what advice would you give them about selecting an agent that could best serve their needs? Kind of like how you take care of your people. Now, I understand that you could, potentially do a referral and look things up. But in general, what general advice would you tell them to use to look for an agent that could help them?
Oh, I see what you're saying, because we do have companies that we associate with that we do referrals to because they're already vetted realtors as I am. However, if it was a relative and they wanted to, I think to look for someone that has very knowledgeable about the market, that knows that market in the price range that they're going to be buying or selling, and is available. I think those are three important things because a lot of the times, the phone can ring and somebody will say, okay, I want to purchase a $300,000 home on the west side of Vero Beach, or in an area that I'm not familiar with, for example. And I would never take that. I would refer that to someone. So they need to know who they're going to hire in that particular area that knows exactly, the area that they're looking at, not just a company per se, but also the associate that they're going to deal with.
All right, yes, that's definitely excellent advice for anybody to use. And Matilda, if somebody is looking for real estate services, obviously, especially in the Vero Beach, Florida area, what's the best way they can find out more information about you and how you can help them?
Well, they can contact me at 772-532-0010, or they can go to my website, which is MatildaSorensen.com. And Matilda's Matilde, Sorensen, SORENSEN.com. Or they can email me.
All right, excellent. Well, Matilda, we certainly want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come here today and share all of your real estate professional experience with everybody. And if you want to learn more about Matilda, below this interview, we'll have a link to her website as well as her number and any other contact information that we have so that you can find out more about her and see if she would be a good fit to help you with your real estate needs. So with that said, everybody, until our next show, have a great day, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you, Keith, very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.